What's going on, everyone? Welcome back to another episode of Sports with Warbs. Today, we're back to the MMA well. I'm here with Christian. He's been on before. We do these UFCs every time a big card rolls around, and sometimes even the smaller cards. But that is not the case this week, as we've got a huge card coming tomorrow night. Sorry it took so long. Hopefully, this video will be up at a decent time, but we had to talk about it. We're going to talk about 3 fights today that's going to be on this main card that I think are not or cannot miss. So anyway, Christian, thanks for coming, obviously, being here again.
Thanks for having me, man.
We will start, sometimes we switch it up, but today I'm feeling like we need to start with the main show here, man. We have got the Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier trilogy fight. This is it. All the marbles. They never go past trilogy. Why would you? McGregor beat him the first time years and years ago. We saw Poirier beat him the other couple months ago when he had his kids there. And I mean, the power of McGregor comes out a couple months later. He gets his trilogy fight. I mean, if McGregor wants to fight this quickly back, then he's getting it. That just cracked me up. As soon as that fight was over, he was like, I want to fight him again. Boom. Less than a month later, fight's made, camps on. Here we are. Watching him fight the same guy we watched a couple months ago in the Apex, bro. What do you think about that? Like, do you agree with me that that's kind of the power of McGregor? Not every fighter is gonna get like that, that favoritism.
100%, and not like any other fighter who asks for a rematch after getting beat like that. The person who fought him is gonna be like, no, I'm moving on. But with Conor, it's a payday. You're gonna take that anytime. If he's like, I'm fighting you tomorrow, you're gonna be like, yes, I want that money.
Yeah.
So, I mean, yeah, it totally makes sense. But like, I don't think it's a good decision from Conor's point of view to fight that quick after being beat like that. Like, you need time to work on the things that you got beat by, and he's just like, no, we're running that back.
I know, it's interesting, dude. It's like, I mean, the fight, I mean, it looked like Poirier was winning. Like, McGregor did get him with a nice punch. He said he kind of got rocked off that, but Poirier looked comfortable. I mean, he looked how he did against every fight except Habib, I think, like recently. So it was interesting to see like kind of how he just instantly, as soon as he got beat so badly and knocked out, turned into the meme. He thinks, I don't actually need to work on anything. I just need a second crack or a third crack at this guy. You know what I'm saying? So here we are. McGregor does the big press tour this week. The big difference this time, though, is the family's at home and there's fans in the stands. It took forever to get McGregor to fight at the Apex. He kept you remember all last year, it was blah, blah, blah. He wanted to fight 4 times in 2020. Obviously, he fought once. I think actually maybe it was the start of 2021. He might not even have fought after that Cowboy fight. But, he says he wants to fight. He doesn't want to do it without the fans. COVID happens. He brings his kids to the Apex fight. Was it Apex or Fight Island? It was Fight Island, right?
I honestly do not remember. I think it was.
I'm pretty sure it's Fight Island. So they go to Fight Island. He does the thing with the kids. Oh, my kids are here. So happy. I'm a dad now. Gets his ass beat. Mr. Nice Guy gets his ass beat. Then comes back and says, I can't have my kids around. It takes away the killer instinct. I felt bad for Poirier. Blah, 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 blah. The McGregor, you don't get to the top without coming up with some good excuses along the way, I feel like. And that's what he did. And I would just listen to the Stephen A interview. He had everything. He's confident, he's gonna, this is nothing. He's fighting for the belt next. He probably will because of the draw. And I mean, Poirier is #1 in the world. If he does happen to beat him, that'd be insane. But I mean, here we are. We got the fight. I'll just give you the odds. You can kind of give your piece on it, and and then I'll give mine. So Poirier -125, McGregor +105. McGregor is an underdog. I mean, there's some people in the UFC where I feel like I'm like, if this person is an underdog, I'm taking them all day, even if they lose because they're so good. Cormier is an example. Unfortunately, he lost to the fights I took him, but I mean, one of the best ever. You're like, if he's an underdog, you take him. McGregor,
Derek Lewis, Nate Diaz, they're guys that you're just like, they can win no matter what the odds are stacked against them.
Exactly. So you're just like, okay, like that's just an automatic take as an underdog. And I'm giving McGregor that take. I'm taking him this weekend, bro. I still think he has a little something in it. It's probably because I just watched the Stephen A interview, but come on, guys. This is McGregor. What do you think, bro?
He's the ultimate salesman. I mean, he can make anyone believe, that he can win the fight. To be honest, like I struggle with this only because it's McGregor. If it was anybody but McGregor, the way that last fight went and this short of a turnaround, I would be like, there's no way that he has any chance in winning this fight. But because it's Conor McGregor, and the way he lost from leg kicks, and it was like he forgot that MMA involved leg kicks. It was weird watching that fight. You're like, why isn't he checking? He didn't look like an MMA fighter. He looked like a boxer making his UFC debut. It was very strange. So I got to think he's going to make the adjustments, but to be honest, I'm still going with Poirier. I think Poirier shot maybe one takedown. I'm pretty sure it was one takedown, and he got it, and it was the easiest takedown I've ever seen. He literally just hugged him and fell down on top of him. There wasn't much resistance. There was no sprawl. It was a weird time to sprawl because they kind of clashed into each other, but still, it was insanely easy for him to score that takedown. So even if Conor addresses the leg kicks, he still has to worry about the takedown. And Poirier's boxing he has got top level boxing too. I mean, he's one of the best in the UFC at boxing. So I don't know, and I don't think it's enough time for Conor to make the necessary adjustments. But it is Conor McGregor, and
I know, man.
This is what he does.
We're longtime MMA fans. We've seen him. I feel like we've just seen him do too many great things to really like write him off. That's you know what I mean? Like I've seen him.
All you have to do is say Aldo.
Yeah, I mean Aldo. You can say the double champ. You could say the rematch against Diaz where he beat him. Like there's a lot. So I mean, find it hard counting him out. If he loses this fight, oh god, we'll see what happens then. There's still plenty of people for him to fight. I mean, best division in the UFC. So anyway, we're clearly on different sides.
I mean, like you mentioned earlier. Sorry, like you mentioned earlier too. I mean, he's got fans in the crowd. He's been putting on a show, and he is the ultimate showman, right? So he's good. This is the environment that he thrives in versus before. I mean, maybe all those things did play an element in his head.
I know
too.
It probably did, man. It probably did. So we're on different sides. You think Poirier, I'm going McGregor. Pick how you guys want. I mean, this fight's gonna be awesome either way. You don't even need to bet on it to show up to this one. Moving down the card, we've got Stephen Thompson versus Gilbert Burns. A little backstory. Thompson made his name when he fought Woodley. They had a crazy fight. They ran it back. It was boring shit, and he's fought pretty much 3 times since then. He lost to Darren Till. He what else happened? He beat Masvidal before he was Street Jesus, or before he was doing his thing there. And then you got Gilbert Burns, who was on the crazy win streak, had the problems with COVID, eventually got his fight with Usman, lost, cried in the ring, looked decent, but I mean, Usman's a beast. And now we got them coming together. I'm excited for this dude. Thompson's only fought like 5 times since 2017. I'll be honest, I haven't had a ton of chances to really get a good look at him. And Burns, I've seen a couple more of, but what do you think? What are you thinking about this one, man?
Yeah, I mean, there's a few things to kind of think about. I mean, Gilbert Burns, he did look unstoppable until he ran into Usman. I mean, everyone was touting him as like this, like no one's going to be able to stop this guy. He runs into Usman. Now Usman has the advantage of the wrestling, so he kind of counteracted that. And Gilbert historically was never a good striker. He has improved a ton. I mean, he's no slouch on the feet. He almost finished Usman in like the first round, I think, of their last fight. So he is dangerous, but I mean, Usman is not on the level of striking as Wonder Boy, and he was kind of picking him apart on the feet, especially like he was touching him up with the jab. And I think Wonder Boy is going to kind of do a better job than Usman on the feet, obviously, because he's such a high level striker. And Wonder Boy has that like wide karate stance. His hands are always like down by his waist. So he is very difficult to take down. So I don't think Burns is going to be able to get him to the ground and submit him, which I think is really the only way Burns wins this. I think it's a significant advantage on the feet for Wonder Boy, significant advantage on the ground for Burns, but I don't think Burns is going to be able to get it to the ground because I just think Wonder Boy is going to be too good on the feet. And like I said, with that, the way he stands in every fight is his hands are so low. So even if you shoot, his hands are already there, and he stands so wide, you don't even get to do like a double leg takedown. You always have to go for a single leg because he's got that like sideways wide karate stance. So yeah, I'm going Wonder Boy. I'm thinking probably by decision, to be honest. But I mean, you know, he could catch him, but I don't know. I think Wonder Boy by decision. What do you got?
All right, that's our best bet. Well, it's -170 Wonder Boy, +140 Burns. I do like I said, I haven't had a ton of chances to see Wonder Boy, but I've seen a lot of people talk about him. I've seen a lot of clips. He's coming off an injury. Burns is coming off a world title loss, so you're kind of like, those are very different trajectories. But you know, I'll go with your word, man. You've seen him more than I have. We'll put best bet Thompson by decision. You know, make some. That's what we'll go with. So finally, the guy everyone likes to talk about, the guy who is self-proclaimed undefeated. Oh my God, what Sean O'Malley. This is a guy that the UFC obviously puts a lot of stock into. They have him on the McGregor card. They had him on the Cormier Miocic card. They have him all over the place. I think actually the last two Cormier Miocic cards he was on. But I mean, this is their guy. -900 odds versus Chris Mahuno. Is that how you say it? And the reason I don't know, yeah, maybe there is. The reason I don't know how to say it is this is his UFC debut. They're putting one of their up-and-coming stars. They're basically giving him this guy. The last guy he was supposed to fight fell out a couple weeks ago. Simon was supposed to come in. There was controversy about him not making weight. That would have been a really good win for O'Malley, but now he's fighting this bum. +550.
I'm a bum.
I mean, what's going on, dude? What's going on? O'Malley's one of their top guys. He's fighting a guy in a debut. When was the last time that you could think of that happening? Come on.
Yeah, it's honestly, if it wasn't for the Cheeto loss, there's no way this fight ever happens. And the Cheeto loss was like a fluke, right? I mean, give it up to Cheeto.
If you ask Sean, but it's a fluke.
I mean, yeah, but I mean, he injured his leg on a kick. It was a weird way to go out. I mean, it wasn't like either person was really dominating that fight, so it was a bit of a fluke. But I mean, you can't take it away from Cheeto. He did what he needed to do. But without that, this fight never happens. Like I think everybody's amazed. This kid has taken this on 2 weeks' notice. It's his UFC debut. No one knows
main card.
And even when you look at the organizations he's fought in, like his pro fights, it's like it's not like he's from Bellator or PFL. Like he's from a bunch of random organizations.
Yeah.
I want this kid to win. I'm gonna be honest. I want him to get the W because it would be amazing.
O'Malley, though, if you guys aren't watching a lot of UFC, he is so fun to watch. He does the walk-off punches. Like he's outclasses all these guys he fights. But he does these walk-off punches where he can knock him out, and he doesn't really get touched up too bad. He's an exciting fighter to watch, man. He keeps his distance. He's very tactical, but he's got a big hand, especially in a lower division. You know, like that's always exciting to see, like the lower weight class divisions. So it'll be interesting, but I mean, I'd be absolutely shocked. It's -900. These are Amanda Nunes odds, my guy. Come on.
Oh, no, I'm not saying that I think he's gonna win. I'm saying I want him to win.
All right.
It would be the worst thing for the UFC if Sean O'Malley loses this fight.
I know,
because again, if it wasn't for the Cheeto loss, he was their next McGregor. Like he was their next baby that they were just gonna put up in the limelight. And
I still think he might be. I still think he might be. Like
he still can, but this win isn't gonna do anything to promote.
No.
Everyone is expecting him to win this.
This is to give him another highlight, but he's got to start fighting in the top 15. I mean, if like, you know what I mean. He's got the fan base. He's got the look. He's got the attitude. It's just about getting the wins over like established guys now to see if it happens. But dude, I was hyping this guy up like 2 years ago at this point in my head. I feel like, and this is where we're at 2 years later, 2 summers later.
And the most amazing thing about it is like he didn't look like I think people overlook Cheeto Vera. Like that dude is an amazing fighter. Like the fact that he goes from that one loss to Cheeto to a no name on 2 weeks notice, making their UFC debut is absurd. Like Cheeto Vera, I think is eventually going to make his way into the top 10, top 5, maybe even. I mean, he's
Yeah.
very, very talented, and I
Yeah.
don't even think he's ranked. It's just amazing to me that you go from losing to him in the way that he lost. It wasn't like he got dominated. Again, it was a weird thing on his ankle.
Yeah, no, yeah, he got like
It's
the
amazing.
nerve in his leg or some shit.
And it was off a checked kick. It wasn't like he took a kick and
Yeah.
you know, his kick got blocked and he got injured. It's just insane to me. There's everything about, and that's why I want this guy to win, this Chris guy. I want him to win because it would be so amazing. He would be the next superstar. Everyone would go out and buy his UFC shirts.
Yes. But okay, so if you're saying that, I want you to make this bet then within yourself, within the Sports Authorities fans, and within me. If he wins, you will buy Moutinho's shirt from the UFC.
I will buy 4 of them.
Will you gift me one?
I will buy 4 of them. I will gift you one, and
frame the other.
Video, I will send them one.
All right, so that's the bet he's putting on. That's Christian's best bet on our final fight today. I'm giving you O'Malley round 2 win. I'm saying this kid will get out of the first round. O'Malley likes to play around, play with his food, like they always say. I want to play with my food. I want rounds in the octagon. I only fight 3 times a year. Fair enough. I think O'Malley is gonna. I think the kid will get to the second round. I mean, he is like a fighter. I don't know if he's UFC caliber. I don't think anyone knows that, but I'm gonna give him that plus 300. So I mean, if O'Malley wins in the second round, plus 300 odds. Those are good. Those are good. Those are the best odds we're giving you today. But Christian, thanks for coming on. This is a super fun card. I mean, maybe we have to get into like the post ones. I did a post one on my own. It was kind of fun, like after the fights, you know, we could talk about that. You know, we always do the previews, but we'll see. Thank you for coming on, man.
Yeah, no, man. Thanks for having me. I always love doing these. These are
yes,
fun.
I'm glad to hear it. Thank you guys for watching. We're going to be having a giveaway if this guy wins. Keep your eyes peeled. Appreciate it. Thanks, everyone, and I'll see you soon.